Call of Duty Warzone Mobile might be making a comeback, and Tencent might be in on it. In today's video, I have some very interesting information I want to share with you all, as well as some speculation. In fact, a lot of speculation. This is purely a speculative video. Nothing is 100% concrete, and I want to be very clear about that to start. If any YouTuber out there is making videos saying Warzone Mobile is 100% coming back, they are lying. This is purely based off of speculation. There's a lot of interesting information out there, posts and leaks and rumors, as well as some good judgment we can make based off of past games that Tencent has revived that point toward a good chance that this game might come back. But it is pure speculation. I just want to be very clear about that. So if you don't really know much about Warzone Mobile, its whole backstory, its whole history, Warzone Mobile was supposed to be the big end-all, be-all mobile battle royale game. It was supposed to be massive, amazing, a next-gen experience, probably the best battle royale game ever on a mobile device. It was supposed to be like Arena Breakout or Delta Force, but with battle royale games. Bigger than PUBG Mobile, the sequel to Call of Duty Mobile with all next-gen technology. And unfortunately, as we all know, it wasn't really that. Like, the game had a lot of promising trailers, a lot of hype around it, but then when global launch came, there were a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches. It wasn't optimized for most devices, especially on Android. It was really bad for Android devices. And then it didn't get better. There's a lot of games that come out and then they get a free pass after they first release because they might not have gotten everything figured out. There might have been bugs and glitches, and then they quickly resolve those issues. And then a month later, they're really good games. But that's not really what happened with Warzone Mobile. They added more features, they added more guns, more characters, more cosmetic items, more maps, more game modes, but the core problems were still there, and they remained big core problems all the way until they decided to just shut the game down altogether. Like, you literally even had massive lighting issues almost a year later, and I was playing on some of the highest-end gaming devices. It was crazy, man. They had a team called Digital Legends help develop the game, and Digital Legends just was not really that experienced in mobile gaming. They made a few games in the past, but they never made something this massive scale. And then they also tried to make their own proprietary game engine for Warzone Mobile specifically. Like, they could have just used Unity or Unreal Engine, but they wanted to make it complicated and use something special and different. And because of that, it didn't really work that well on a lot of different devices. They eventually decided in May of this year, just a couple of months ago, to sunset the game altogether. I believe you could download the game all the way until the end of May, like May 22nd, May 23rd, something like that, and then you couldn't download the game anymore. It wasn't on the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can't find it on the App Store and the Google Play Store anymore. But you still can play it. The servers are still online, and they're probably going to remain online for quite a while. Maybe a year, maybe up to 2 years, you never really know. But I do think this game is going to have a very slow shutdown, at least from Activision's end. They're going to start to slowly shut down servers in regions that are not very popular. Like, they might keep the Asian region and the North American region up the longest because there's probably more players in those regions. And then eventually, it's going to get shut down altogether. You probably still can download Warzone Mobile on Android if you get it from external websites. You can download an APK, but even that, not 100% sure that would work. But that's not really that important because a couple of days ago, I saw a tweet from a user called Pookie Raju. Very interesting username. And he just said, Tencent and Activision coming soon. New FPS title. Source soon. Tencent, Activision, and hashtag Warzone. Now, obviously, I don't know who this person is, right? They're claiming that they post a lot of news for mobile games, but it's not like it's some professional person that has a whole background in the mobile gaming industry. So this is why I say this is speculative. It's purely leaks, but it is interesting because he does have some more information in a later tweet that says they are making Warzone Mobile separate game, not a Warzone game, in parentheses. Game will be same as Warzone, but in Tencent way. Tencent is claiming this game will make a history of most online player base. They're going to optimize the game for full low-end users. They cooked. I don't know. It's broken English, right? But this is really interesting because in and of itself, it's just some random tweet from some random user on Twitter, and there's not really any basis behind it. He says he has some audio leaked file from some person, but he doesn't want to get his brother fired. And that's entirely possible that that's true, right? Maybe his brother know somebody that is working with Activision on this. I don't really know. But we're not going to jump to those conclusions. We can point to other games in the past that can kind of give us some logical speculation for what could happen with Warzone Mobile. Warzone Mobile was supposed to be the big end-all be-all mobile battle royale game. It still has a ton of potential. Like, if Activision just all of a sudden decided to remake it with Unreal Engine, put it back out there, and it was stable and ran on all devices, it would be massive. One of the biggest mobile battle royale games and biggest mobile games, period. Like COD Mobile level. But it seems like Activision doesn't really want to do that. And Tencent has a history of wanting to revive games that they think still have potential. Apex Legends Mobile is a perfect example. Now, they did help develop Apex Legends Mobile, so they do have more leeway with a game like that. They ended up deciding to revive that game when that game got shut down and rebranded it to High Energy Heroes. High Energy Heroes is currently only available in China. There's no English version of the game. You have to have a Chinese social media account to be able to play the game, and that's the big unfortunate thing with that game specifically. But the way they did that with High Energy Heroes is they kind of changed some of the most important things that made it specifically Apex Legends. Like, they had the same graphic style, they had a lot of the same like special abilities and overall look and feel to Apex Legends Mobile, but you had different characters, you had a different map, you had different UI and other stuff like that. But it still felt like Apex Legends Mobile, just rebranded in a unique Tencent way, so there wasn't really any legal issues. And that game's still out there. You can still play it. It's still very popular in China, so they're clearly doing something right with that, and that's not even the first game that Tencent has tried to revive. There are other games in the past that they have decided to revive when the original company making it has just completely given up. So I don't think it's that far-fetched. If it's true that Tencent and Activision have partnered up with something, that it could be related to Warzone Mobile. Again, it's purely speculation. Entirely possible it's something completely different. Maybe a new game altogether, nothing related to Warzone Mobile. But if it is, then it could very well be like High Energy Heroes in that it's going to be their own unique twist to Warzone Mobile. It's still going to be a battle royale game. It's still going to have a lot of the same graphic style and look and feel to Warzone Mobile, but you're going to have different operators. You're going to have a different map. It might be similar to Verdansk, but it's going to be different. You're going to have some sort of Rebirth Island, but it's not going to be Rebirth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be different, but it's also going to be Warzone Mobile at the same time. And that's how Warzone Mobile could potentially be coming back. It's very exciting because, you know, I do think that game still has tons of potential. It's still a massively popular game on PC. It's been continually reiterated in newer and newer Call of Duty games, and I do think this game really can do well on mobile devices. Like, Call of Duty Mobile is a fantastic mobile Call of Duty game, but it's starting to show a little sign of age. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you start to play it, you start to realize that, yeah, this was a game made in 2018 or 2017, whenever they first started making the game. It's not an up-to-date 2025 game like Delta Force Mobile, for instance. It's still a fantastic game, don't get me wrong. 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. If you never played it, download it, play Call of Duty Mobile, because it's one of the best mobile games out there, period. But it would be nice if, you know, the supposed sequel to Call of Duty Mobile could make a return in a different way, and Tencent is a part of it, because Tencent really knows how to make good games. I'm just going to be honest. They're probably the best mobile gaming developer out there. They've made so many fantastic games, and they still continue to release just absolute incredible 10 out of 10 bangers, all right? If this is true, there is no doubt in my mind that Warzone Mobile would still continue to be a massive success. Now, the biggest problem could potentially be that this is only for a Chinese audience. Tencent might be a little bit concerned that they could run into some big legal issues if they release this worldwide. China has very interesting copyright laws. Companies can basically copy whatever they want, and the Chinese government will kind of protect them in a way. It's different from like the European legal system and the US legal system, for instance, and because of that, they might have been able to get away with High Energy Heroes. Maybe EA didn't really want them to do that. We don't really know the whole inner workings of that. So it is possible that if this does come out, it might only be for a Chinese audience. However, there will be a way to play it, and I will make a video on that if that does end up happening. I really hope it doesn't, but there's going to be a way to play it. Somebody will figure out a way to do it, and I can make a video. So you might want to subscribe so you don't miss out on that if you want to play this new and revitalized Warzone Mobile later on down the line on an iOS or an Android device. But, it's really interesting because this has so much potential for the future for mobile games. If Tencent starts to revitalize a lot of failed mobile games, do you realize how many good old games could be brought back? There's a lot of games out there that have come out over the past 10, 15 years or so. And then the development company made a lot of missteps. They started to add updates that people didn't want, and then they had to shut the games down, maybe because they ran out of money. If Tencent, with basically unlimited money, could come back and then revitalize those games and re-release them, there would be a lot of very happy mobile gamers who would be able to go back and play their favorite older mobile game. Or there's other games that never even really came out. Overwatch Mobile, for instance. That was a game that was supposed to come out. We should have already been playing that game, to be completely honest with you, but I just don't really know what the heck happened with it. CSGO Mobile, where the heck is that game? I still think that game might come out, but, come on. We heard some news about it, and then it just never really came out. Or even Alpha Ace. That's another one. That was another game very similar to CSGO. It had a lot of potential, and then it just kind of stopped. Or Ace Force 2. That's another one. That's actually, I believe, developed by Tencent. So if they stopped developing that one, there's probably a reason why they just didn't want to do that one. But you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of games that started a lot of testing phases like Project Rush B, and then there are many other games that did come out and then either got shut down way too soon or the developers just did not know what they were doing. And Tencent can revitalize that. And it's not just with shooting games, too. They can do that with so many other games. I'm sure you can start to list games. In fact, what I would love everybody to do is to go down below in the comments and list some of their favorite games that they used to love playing in the past that got shut down. Maybe they think the games got shut down too soon, but they were games that they loved playing, and they think Tencent could revitalize and maybe put a slight different twist on them so they're not going to cause any legal issues. Let me know down below in the comments. I'm interested in what you guys have to say. But yeah, that's honestly it. There's not really that much more information that I could find online. There's no big partnership announcement from Activision and Tencent. So this is, again, purely speculation. But other things that have happened in the past can lead us to believe that this very well could potentially happen. And if it does, I would be very happy with it because I still think Warzone Mobile has so much potential. Tencent makes such great games. They can add so many cool features to Warzone Mobile and optimize it so well that it can be comparable to something like Delta Force or Arena Breakout, which also are other Tencent games, all right? These are the games that we can compare it to, and I think it would be fantastic. I would love to know what you guys have to say about all of this. Do you think this is just never going to happen, or do you think that there's a possibility? And I really just hope that Tencent can do something. Or I hope Tencent just releases their own Battle Royale game that is kind of similar to Warzone Mobile, and it might be just different enough to the point where they don't even need any special permission from Activision. That also could be a route that they go. But yeah, that's basically it. I really hope you all did enjoy this video. Again, as I said, purely speculation, but hope you guys did enjoy it nonetheless. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe for some more mobile gaming content and news videos like this, and I will see you all in the next episode.